you get a gun?
I borrowed it from Pam. Oh my God!
Dysfunctional families have always made for great viewing, but sometimes TV takes bad parenting to whole new heights. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst TV parents. For this list, we're looking at all the parents to grace the small screen and choosing those we think messed up their kids the most.
Mother!
And if they didn't, it was a fluke. Number 10, Tobias and Lindsay Funke, Arrested Development.
Are all homosexuals or flamboyant? Oh my God, I have the exact same blouse.
Tobias and Lindsay Funke have taken parental absenteeism and turned it into an art form.
That's my point, you handsome cowboy, you.
Oh, great. And now you're mocking me, you selfish country music loving lady.
They're both so self-involved. When their daughter maybe purposely flunked out of high school to get their attention, not only did they not notice, they actually moved out of town, thinking she was away at boarding school.
What kind of a boarding school would lose track of its students?
Openings is not a boarding school.
Well, I thought it was a boarding school too.
The Funke's extremely laid-back approach to parenting has led Maybe to become seriously independent, rebelling any way she can and masterminding various cons.
I'm trying to get my parents to notice me. I've been here for like an hour and a half.
But alas, Tobias and Lindsay are way too self-absorbed to even notice. And they spent so much money trying to conceive, too.
She was made in a cup, like soup.
$130,000 cup of soup.
I'm leaving you, JR. And I'm taking him with me.
Number 9, JR and Sue Ellen Ewing, Dallas.
He said that I couldn't love anyone. He called me a parasite.
This oil baron and his former beauty queen of a wife spend far too much time scheming and plotting to pay much attention to their offspring, John Ross Ewing III.
Because I surely am not going to change.
You can go straight to hell.
There were also affairs aplenty, as JR's business trips were often racy liaisons, even while he had a pregnant wife at home.
You mean you're leaving him just because he cheated on you?
And that doesn't bother you.
That left Sue Ellen with nothing to do but start drinking heavily, again, while pregnant. While little JR was lucky enough to be born defect-free, his life was far from drama-free, as his parents' infidelity and stakes in the family oil business kept them occupied and embroiled in scandal. Seems like oil is thicker than blood down in Texas.
Hey, John Ross, your daddy's here. How's my boy?
Number 8, Don and Betty Draper, Mad Men.
We thought about getting a nanny. We have a girl that comes in, sort of a housekeeper and sometimes babysitter.
In the mad world of 1960s suburbia, Don and Betty Draper are too wrapped up in their own lives and adult drama to pay much attention to their little children.
He's dead. He's dead, and he's never coming back. And nobody cares that he's really, really, really gone.
Sally, go watch TV.
A far cry from June Cleaver, stay-at-home mom Betty seems bored and unhappy with her life.
Go ahead. I'd rather have you do it in front of me than behind my back.
Often taking her frustrations out on her daughter Sally, that is, when she isn't totally ignoring her.
You're hurting me.
Good.
Dawn, on the other hand, is rarely home. Too busy working, drinking, or womanizing, this ad man generally seems more than satisfied to leave the child rearing to someone else.
I don't even know what to say.
Number 7, Al and Peggy Bundy, married with children.
Hi, I'm Peggy Bundy. Don't let the wedding ring fool you. Means nothing to me.
As far as TV parents go, the Bundys are pretty terrible.
Family, before you go, would you bring old daddy's shotgun and stand close together?
Lazy, cheap, and dissatisfied with the way his life has turned out, Papa Bear Al spends most of his time parked in front of the TV.
Hey, Hot Tub Girls is on.
Big-haired, obnoxious Peg, on the other hand, is too busy spending all of Al's money on stuff they can't afford, rather than, buying groceries.
Don't you understand? If people keep shopping there, we'll be broke and living under the L.
Oh, not me. I can always remarry.
As a result, there's never any food in the house. She also refuses to clean or cook, and is famous for her total lack of attention towards her children.
There are 2 things Peggy Bundy doesn't do. Number 1, cook, clean, sew, vacuum, iron, and parent.
Number 6, Peter Griffin, Family Guy.
Cook much?
Let's be honest, neither Griffin parent is exactly Parent of the Year material.
Okay, look, Meg, I've been at this for 45 minutes. I don't know what else I can say. Here's a Sylvia Plath book and a bottle of Ambien.
But Peter gets the nod over Lois for the way he treats his kids, especially his only daughter, Meg.
Dad! Get away from me! Dad!
Peter's friends are coming to get you! Peter's friends are coming to get you! Here comes Peter's friends! They're coming to get you! Oh, in the kitchen, Meg!
He farts on her, pranks her, insults her, and even shoots her at one point.
Hi, Dad.
He isn't much nicer to the rest of the family, though, exerting his superiority over his older son, Chris.
Is Dad mad at me?
And barely interacting with his youngest son, Stewie. Peter is basically an overgrown child who thinks only about himself, often putting his kids in dangerous situations.
Ow! Dad, what's wrong with you?
Luckily, the two-dimensional world is a little more forgiving than the real world.
It's Officer Nasty. Careful, I might be carrying a concealed weapon.
Number 5, Frank Gallagher, Shameless, UK version. He's unemployed. He's a drunk.
Here's to Alzheimer's.
He bullies his kids.
Well, let me put it like this. I won't be that keen on any son of mine.
Frank Gallagher is a shameless patriarch of the Gallagher clan, which includes 8 children in total from 2 different women, which, all things considered, ain't that bad.
What's the other one? Tommy, what's happened to the other one?
A single parent, he's rarely around to care for his brood, preferring to expend his energy getting smashed at the jockey, running up a serious bar tab in the process.
But I did it for all the right reasons.
Instead of contributing to the household expenses, he spends his unemployment benefits on booze, leaving his kids to pick up the pieces.
I wouldn't put him anywhere near a carpet until his kecks dry off a bit.
Number 4, Walter and Skyler White, Breaking Bad.
You all know exactly who I am.
High school chemistry teacher / meth cook and drug kingpin Walter White is far from a model father.
You want to cook crystal meth?
While his motivations to get into the drug business are somewhat understandable at first, he soon realizes this world is far more dangerous than he bargained for.
How much is enough? How big does this pile have to be?
Slowly growing more ruthless as the series progresses, Walt ends up dragging his wife Skyler into his world of illegal activities, to the point where the couple's kids are taken away from them.
Are you seriously kicking me out of my own house?
While the Whites do usually treat their children relatively well, bringing Albuquerque's underworld to your doorstep is probably not the best parenting move.
I am not in danger, Skyler. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
Number 3, Livia Soprano, The Sopranos.
She was high-strung, my mother, very dramatic. And every night to her was a night at the opera.
I could stick this fork in your eye!
This is Livia Soprano's take on motherhood and babies.
Babies are like animals. They're no different than dogs.
This abusive, manipulative, and vengeful woman doesn't have a maternal bone in her body, taking pleasure in making the lives around her miserable, especially her 3 children.
You're a real stone player, aren't you, Ma? You threaten to smother his children.
What does that mean?
You know, everybody thought Dad was the ruthless one, but I gotta hand it to you.
As if this wasn't enough to send her kids running for the psychiatrist's couch, Livia conspires with her brother Junior to have Tony killed for putting her in a nursing home.
Bigger things to talk about than Gene Cusimano's ass.
Like feelings of worthlessness sparked by your mother's plot to have you killed?
This is one mom who did not relax with age.
I wish the Lord would take me now.
Well, in the meantime.
Number 2, Vernon Schillinger, Oz.
Hey. Mind if I sit here?
Prisoner number 92S110, Vern Schillinger isn't only a bad father, he's a pretty rotten human being.
It's funny, you know.
Raised by his white supremacist dad Heinrich, Vern is proof that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as he leads the Aryan Brotherhood in Oz.
That boy's last name. You know what it was? Schillinger.
Extremely racist, cruel, and sadistic, Vern has no problem killing or even raping fellow inmates.
Speak when you're spoken to.
Hey, get the off me! Get off me!
Sir, may I watch?
Well, if you don't, how are you ever going to learn?
While he does show remorse for how his 2 drug-addicted sons turned out, he fixes it so his eldest son will OD on smack and turns his other son into a kidnapper and murderer for hire. Way to spread the love, Dad.
How much?
How much what?
How much cash?
Cash?
You want the crime, you gotta pay the dime.
$1,000.
I'm all yours, Daddy.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
You find it intolerable living under the same roof with the brother who betrayed you. Then you and Jake can come and live with me.
We're good.
I need your help.
Go to 11.
No, I can't. Would
Why?
you come here? Because
You need to stop playing toys and come help. You stand here. I have to go ahead.
You have to be what?
Twice.
What?
Twice as good.
Twice as good as them to get half.
Mom, what's my temperature? 50? 45? 40? It's all over! Woo! Down at the 35! I'm really sick, huh?
Number 1, Craster, Game of Thrones. This series is no stranger to poor parenting. Case in point, Tywin Lannister, who will do anything to secure the Lannister family legacy.
And I would let myself be consumed by maggots before mocking the family name and making you heir to Casterly Rock.
But no father in Westeros is more despicable than Craster, the wildling ally to the Night's Watch who lives with his brood of wives, 19 to be exact, beyond the wall.
He marries his daughters, and they give him more daughters, and on it goes.
That's foul.
Now where does he find all these wives? Well, most, if not all of them, are his own daughters.
And more daughters than I can count.
I'm glad for you.
Are you now?
Whom he weds once they've reached an appropriate age and fathers their children. To ensure his manhood goes unchallenged, he also sacrifices any sons his incestuous harem produces to the White Walkers.
That's his offerings.
Offerings? He's murdering his own children. He's a monster.
Worst father ever.
I am a godly man!
You're a stingy bastard!
Do you agree with our list?
Your father and I are having a disagreement.
Who do you think is the worst TV parent? For more entertaining top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
So that was fun.